All right. Come on. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this is Soroosh. How do you say your last name?
Oh, let me check.
You are not editing that out. Okay. This is not edited. Soroosh, what's your last name?
Some people have really trouble saying it, but it's Abiyazi.
Abiyazi.
Yeah,
That's actually,
but it's hard to say.
That's actually fun to say.
Yeah, it's fun to say. Yeah.
You're actually, like, the reason why we're not cutting that is because there's nobody behind the camera. When I talked about Soroosh on the other couple podcasts, it's because he's behind the camera. And he is the guy we're going to be talking with today.
Really excited to be here, Jeff.
Good. You absolutely should be. I told you before, and this is like, you would be upset with me.
Okay.
And you were like, why? And I said, well, you'll find out on the podcast. He was nervous I'm going to make him do something. He will be doing something. It just won't be on the podcast. It'll be after. I actually had some constructive criticism from a friend of mine. And he said that when he listened to the podcast, I'm doing too many ums and ahs and saying a lot of likes. So we're going to put a counter on one of the clips you're going to have to edit. And every time I say or like, you're going to do a clip where it's just with a counter. So
Sure.
It's going to be a lot of editing.
So you're just making my job harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have to be a guest.
And I know it's a lot of work for you. That's going to be one you have to edit because I did
There we go.
So what's your company's name?
So my company's name, actually, again, something hard to say. Most people find it hard. It's called Clicklarity.
Is that with a K? Is there a K in there?
No. So it's like click, normal click.
Yeah.
And then clarity with a click. Oh, it's actually Clicklarity. I say Clicklarity, but Clicklarity.
Okay.
And then when you say it quick, it's like Click Clarity.
Yeah.
It becomes like clarity.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but
I love it. And the reason why we're having this conversation in the real estate world, and it's also similar to any business, which you're going to find out, is the word of mouth and how powerful that could be. So, for example, how we met actually was through Austin.
Yeah.
And I was burned like so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard the stories where
multiple times.
One company they were excited to help, but didn't follow through, or another one where they had great product and was going to set me up and never heard from them again. So it was kind of crappy. And then how I got in touch with you was you were working with Austin.
Yeah. So as some of you guys may know, Austin actually is on the first episode. He wasn't there where I edited it and everything. Austin was the first member of Jeff's team, the Wisconsin Premier Realty Group.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to keep the story short. It's pretty long, but I can just say me and Austin, we met a quick trip a couple of times. We exchanged phone numbers, but it really never got to anything. He wasn't that committed to start, and I still hadn't started my company. But then I think a couple months ago, we just met a quick trip. I was like, dude, I'm getting started with this company, Clicklarity. Like, I'm super excited. Let's just have a coffee and, talk about it. Talked to Austin, sat down. We went over what he wants done and everything else. And then actually same day when me and Austin finalized everything, I talked to you a couple hours after, and it was super weird for me that I thought you would perceive me as someone who's like 19 years old in the business, someone who is like too young to own a business. And that's what I was worried about first meeting you.
Now, even though you're young, you still have the drive.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Austin did.
Oh, yeah.
We debunked that in the first one. So with that being said, let's talk about word of mouth. I mean, in our business, the best, I guess, clients that we have is either repeat clients or when we help them sell a property, they had such a great experience that they tell everybody about it. When we get that call, like, hey, your client, Doug, said it was a great experience.
Or Bob,
but we don't like Bob.
No.
Bob sucks. No, two. That's two. He's gonna say, okay. So it's two. He's gonna say, okay. So
I'm sorry, Jeff, but that's definitely not happening. You can have two ums, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. That's what I think.
When we get those referrals, it's the easiest to, I don't want to say sell, because we're always going to give the great level of service.
Yeah, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. It's more that they trust us.
Yeah.
Already.
And I think what word of mouth truly like means to me, I never thought about word of mouth being a big thing. My thing was more, reach out to a couple of companies, talk to them, and put yourself out there, open a LinkedIn, and just wait for people to come to you. But and not doing anything. But I feel like the powerful thing about word of mouth is I do something great for you. You call someone like, hey, like, who's editing your video? Someone calls you, who's editing your videos? Who's recording? And then you help me get a foot in the door that makes it easier to get that client if I would have just called them out of the blue. Like
exactly.
Cold call.
Did you know that Tesla never advertised?
What?
He
never advertised?
No, Tesla's never. Well, I don't know if they do a little bit now, but in the beginning, Tesla never advertised.
Really?
It was mainly word of mouth. Same with, I believe, I don't know if it was Uber. Well, Keller Williams, we never advertise. You don't see us on the Super Bowl where it says Keller Williams Realty. Yeah. So we never advertise, but it just turns out that the reason why we don't is why spend all that money when everybody's telling everybody how great it is,
Yeah.
Now there's a flip side of that, and that's going to be the negative feedback. I feel like that there's more, like we talked about cancel culture before.
Yeah. Just like at this shoot before we got started.
I know. And I feel like that is also word of mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you think someone could actually avoid that?
I think avoiding cancel culture is very easy. If
don't be racist.
Don't be racist. I mean, it's a free country. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion, but in the world of social media, it's hard to put your opinion out there because there's always going to be someone that's going to find a negative or find it a different way. Mm-hmm. So I think the best way to avoid cancel culture is maybe filter yourself on social media. Mm-hmm. Just like, don't say whatever you want to say. Keep it cool, collected, respect other people. I think that's important of not getting canceled. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to think of my first actual referral that I got. It must have been from word of mouth a while ago. But do you remember the 2 4 families that I closed? Yeah. Okay. So that was actually word of mouth. Oh, really? Yeah. And I mean, it turned out, it was a great sale, and Brenda was an amazing client, and it was just, it just makes life a lot easier. And I wonder what can others do to help their business grow through word of mouth? I think you can't solely rely on word of mouth. Mm-hmm. Also, your quality and passion and drive has to be there too. Because, you can rely on word of mouth, but if what you're producing is not good enough, then the word of mouth is going to be the flip side again. It's going to be negative. Someone's going to ask bro, who did this podcast for you? It's really bad. The negative way, it spreads around people, and people think that your product is not good enough. Yeah. I think definitely having that passion and drive to succeed in anything, even in real estate or, creative director business, even photography, whatever. I think it's important to show up and do a great job, no matter who the client is or what amount they're paying you. I couldn't agree more, so we have a thing in our business called commission breath. Yeah. So commission breath, for people who don't know, it means that an agent's going to do whatever they can just to get to the closing table to get paid. And sometimes what happens is the needs and wants of that client is no longer that agent's priority. Yeah. And that's how you start to get the negative, right? Mm-hmm. There are times where you hear somebody say, "Oh, I've been working with this agent," and somebody cringes because they hear who that agent is, right? Exactly. So with that being said, I think when you say passion and drive, you also, what I've noticed when working together, in actually the short period of time, it's been a month. Yeah. Just hit a month. You call me almost every day. You are like, "No, Nevin, this cannot be crap. If I have to redo it, I'm going to redo it." You always take good feedback, and just, you come out across as caring. And I think that's if everybody does that. So instead of having commission breath in our standpoint, I think if we're coming across as caring for those clients, and not even
making the commission in this case, but it's going to be different. And like,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot easier to get those word of mouth clients, if you will. Like, for example, I mean, tell them about Justin, who was just
Justin McConnell, everybody. Episode 2, actually, I was at a meeting with him today at Starbucks. That's like 2 or 3 for me. But again, I think so. That's what happened after the podcast. When everything was done, we were just, sitting around and talking. And I was like, Justin, we should exchange contact information, go out for a coffee and just talk about because I was interested in his business, bookkeeping, and he was interested in my business.
Yeah.
And I think same thing, like you meet someone somewhere, they see your product and they hear good feedback from your other clients. They're more willing to work with you than if it was just like a cold call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I've gotten so far, like, were you laughing? What are you laughing at?
No, because I know when I say cold call, I always think about because you do a lot of prospecting and cold calling. Yeah. So I always think about you sitting there and just, cold calling.
Dialing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be actually kind of I think that'd be a lame video.
Yeah. Just a cold calling
us
video.
in the war room prospecting. So we won't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was actually I wanted to bring up the point that, so there's people out there like, it's, I could do it on my own. It's, I could handle everything. And they really don't seek out help because they're thinking like, if you don't do it, like no one's going to do it as well as you do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always kind of afraid to like reach out and connect with people and like to learn with people. Like they almost feel like they are weaker because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the point I'm getting at is when you start to connect with people, you start to become friends within a certain, I guess, group. I mean, you become, and my wife and I, she's over there actually behind the camera. Well, she's not doing the camera. She's just on the computer playing Sims. When you hang around a group of people that are also motivators and drivers, and you do connect with people who you could grow from, that's where it's all who you know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to hang out with, people who are at the bars every other night, are you really going to get referrals? Like, that's just a small scenario. I mean, who knows? I guess some agents would argue that they get their business from bars.
Probably.
So, but anyways, I think it's all who you know as well, like leaning on those types of people that you hang out with and stuff.
And I think so. One thing I truly find important is your group of friends, your circle. This quote is very overused, but I really like it. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out most with.
Agreed.
And I think it's like I never understood it as a kid. When my mom told me like, "Hey, like don't hang out with these people," I said yes, but like I didn't understand it. Until, like senior year of high school and like freshman year of college, that's when kind of like I understood, like if I hang out with these people, I'm not going to be able to be as successful. There's nothing wrong with them, but they don't drive me to become a better version of myself. And like the people I have around me right now, they truly like every day they call me like, bro, you got to go to the gym. And if you're watching this, Jacob, like you got to go to the gym. You got to hit the gym more. And, sometimes it could be frustrating hearing it from a friend, but I think having those people around you that care about you and care about your future is really important.
Yeah, because what is he to do? He's going to refer you out all the time and help your business grow.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. Being around the core group and I think providing just a great experience is like, it could be like for like Apple. Apple's like sure, it's an iPhone and it's or your Apple Watch or whatever it may be. It's a product. However, when they sell it comes off as like they care about you. Have you seen like we like called the Apple effect? Like for example, like when they did the new Apple Watch, I think there's like
the
guy
Ultra one.
He's like in the ocean or whatever, and he's lost, but he's able to use like the satellite. And it's connecting in.
I love that feature, by the way.
Yeah,
I want to get it, but
wait, the newest one?
like the big one. You see that one? That it looks really good.
Isn't that like $1,000 or something? I think it's crazy.
No, I think it went down like $699.
Really?
Because I don't think people were buying it that much.
Honey, can I get the new Apple Watch? No, she's laughing over there, calling me crazy. Apple came across as a relatable way and a caring way. Like, hey, this is actually going to help save lives. Not like buy my watch because it's got the brand new LED screen, and if you drop it 10 million feet, it's not going to break. It's actually. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Microsoft do that.
No, I think Apple's marketing is genius because it's all about how they make you feel about a product. It's all your emotions.
Oh, that's it, dude. It's feelings.
Yeah, it's feelings. Like when you watch an Apple commercial, it's sort of, some of them actually like inspire you. Where it's either like working out or doing something like in a big adventure activity, they inspire you. And I think inspiring people is what sells the most.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's the most important thing.
I totally agree. Well, I mean, I guess it does correlate it with like, you caring about releasing a good product, caring about the person that you're filming with. I think, I mean, how many people have reached out so far? I know we had Justin. I think Kyle, you guys connected.
Yeah.
I know Austin's told you. A few people in the office. Man, I think it's the best way to grow.
Yeah, definitely. Just connecting with a whole bunch of people. And, some people get hung up on, I think maybe some realtors do. I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But they get hung up on like, is this person actually going to buy a house? Should I market to him? But I think the most successful realtor or the most successful, creative director or whatever has to like not see everyone as a client, but be open to working with anyone, no matter who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I think a lot of agents are hunting for the immediate business.
Yeah.
And like when that happens, those people get set off to the wayside. And if they weren't continuing to reach out and tell them like, hey, like, how are you in your timeline? And if it's like, oh, we're out, a couple years, agents are gonna like, no, we're good. When I've had to follow up with, I mean, several clients for multiple years that actually ended up buying 2 years after we connected. And all I did was call and just like, hey, has anything happened with your timeline? Here's what's going on in the market. Knowing that they probably weren't going to buy or sell at that time. And when the time came, they actually called me. And it's because you came across as caring. I think that's like really in a nutshell is how do you get your word of mouth is through just actually caring.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies, and like you said in the beginning, you got burned a lot of times. I think, at least for me, like my business model is building long-lasting relationships with my clients. Like even if like a contract ends or whatever, I'm still gonna like be friendly with them and talk to them. And I think that's what gives you the best word of mouth. Because I mean, I didn't know you a month ago, but now we almost call every day, we talk every day. It feels like there's a friendship there. And I think that shows, if you care about a person enough, then you will receive, a benefit back. Not that it's like transactional, but it's always a benefit of being caring.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What do you like? Okay. So let's say that someone's going to be interviewing somebody to help, in their business. Like, let's say if I first met you, what would be like a good question to ask to see if they actually care about that person?
So it's really hard because it's from person to person. It really depends on, how genuine you are or what you are. But I think a good question is like referrals. But like it could be hard because if you don't had any referrals before, how is that person going to know you're caring? But I think the first meeting, like the first time you saw me, did you realize I was caring? Like the first shoot we did where we filmed, Average Bob.
I think with the first meeting because it wasn't even like, for example, like you wanted to sign up for like 3 months, and I explained my story about being burned a few times, and even having like a product that was like unfinished. You and I explained that story, and I said, hey, I just want to hire you for one. And you know what? Instead of being like, nah, like this isn't for me, dude. Like I only sign up clients for 3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
You were like, no, man, let's test it out. I want you to be happy with the product, because if you're not, then we're not a good fit, right?
Exactly.
We part ways as friends.
Exactly.
I think was like the moment where I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then after that video, man, it was quick.
Snowballed. Like it's better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think most people, like let's say someone wants to sign a contract, right? 3 months for like this service. And like you said, like they say, dude, like I want to try it out first. Like you said, like if I would have been like, you know what, Jeff, like I don't want to do it. I want to do 3 months. If you don't want it, I'm out of here. I mean, that wouldn't be good. It would just show that I find the money more important than, the product and the service.
Exactly.
A lot of people get hung up on the amount of money that they make, but I think starting off, you should, make some losses here and there to build your brand. And I think if I would have said no, this relationship, this podcast that we're sitting in wouldn't have even happened.
No. I don't think I would have said anything negative. I think if somebody would have asked, like, oh, like, who is that? Or if, Austin was having a good time or whatever. And like, it probably would have been like, hey, what was your experience when you first interviewed? And would have been like, oh, no, he's really attentive. And he just only sticks with one thing. He didn't want to bolt to that person. I guess that could be like the negative aspect to like word of mouth.
You got to be flexible.
Yeah. I think flexible, caring. I think that's what like the main part of it is. Dude, Liquid Death, please sponsor me.
Sponsor us, please.
Sponsor me. I know I'm not famous yet. I think I have like 45 followers.
No, we probably got more.
Nah.
It's getting up there slowly.
You know what?
Fact check.
Which one would have more probably?
Probably Instagram. Oh, you mean like for the podcast?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I think you got a couple subscribers on YouTube. I think the first one got a decent amount of views for starting out.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I'm not sure.
Your videos. Wait. How do I know?
You got
I'm like wasting my time here.
Yes.
We could be talking about 7 subscribers.
Dude, it actually went up because believe it or not, when we first started before, but when I set up the whole YouTube page and everything, it was 0 subscribers, Jeff.
You actually like really helped my Instagram for sure. You like really like, bro, your Instagram, dude. You have a picture of food and you're a realtor. That's got to go.
Yeah. No, we definitely did a deep dive into Jeff's Instagram. Some of the stuff were funny, but it's not like if you're a realtor, like,
yeah, right.
I think one with the Cuban cigars.
Oh, I know. That was like me walking into, yeah. I didn't know how to do it, man. I did not know how to do it. I think we really kind of touched on everything.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, what do you want to end with? I mean, come on, word of mouth, like caring about that person. Don't do the opposite. Don't be money hungry because no one's gonna want to work with that.
No.
How can somebody come across as caring, or how can somebody work on getting word of mouth?
So I think start off with like what you're producing right now. I mean, my own faults as a person was I purchased a lot of equipment. Mm-hmm. You know that. I think most people, my clients know that. I think focus on producing good stuff, and even if it's just for your own Instagram page. I wouldn't say that my Instagram page is big. I'm starting off, but focus on doing a good quality work, and then find someone like a buddy. There's always a buddy that knows a buddy. There was a theory about this I saw on Instagram. It was like, someone that knows someone that knows Taylor Swift or like Donald Trump or anyone.
Yeah.
So I think ask around your buddies, like, hey, do you know someone who needs work done? And start off with that, whether it's a free job in the beginning and, you do a great job, even if it's free, you get exposure.
Totally. It's just like that guy who cuts grass. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh man. Like I don't know why people get interested in watching him. It's like it's sped up, and he goes on people's doors and knocks on their door. And their grass is like super overgrown.
I have seen that one.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm gonna cut your grass for free, and they're like, no, come on.
Yeah,
there's a catch. She's like, no, I just do it for my YouTube video, and people watch it and they enjoy doing it. That's a great word of mouth. And I think you hit it on the head too. If you really want to start growing the word of mouth, it's just you got to talk to a lot of people. You can't be afraid to ask. Like for us, it's like when we go to the closing table, we'll ask people, do you know anybody who's buying or selling that could use our level of service?
Yeah. Because
it sounded like you enjoyed it that much. Somebody else would love it.
Exactly.
Like, who do you know? You just can't be afraid to ask.
No, I think some people get hung up on asking. They feel like, I'm going to come off as like this either like douchey realtor guy that just wants to sell. but I think it depends on how you ask it.
Totally.
The tone, like even like what we talk about during filming, like the passion and the way you ask it, it makes a huge difference to your audience.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you have that commission breath realtor and then you ask, like, they're going to be like, nah, dude. Right.
Yeah.
But if you give them that level of service that we talked about and you cared about them, they'd be like 100%. They want to help you grow.
Totally.
You just can't be afraid to ask for it.
Yeah.
Soroosh, thanks for being on, bro.
No problem. This is going to be a short one.
Oh, come on. It can't be that short.
I think it's pretty short.
What? Get out of here.
Actually, we're right on time.
Get out, dude. I knew it.
Right on time.
See, when we're having fun, man, time flies.
I thought it was like 10 minutes.
That's what my grandpa says.